Hello, I am Sophie welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a semi-realistic finals week vlog. And I'm calling it realistic because I really did not give myself enough time to do everything I wanted to.
What would you like to say to the masses?
Don't go to college.
Yeah, exactly.
As you will see, I probably gave myself enough time, but then in between everything, I took too many breaks and ended up not having enough time. For this, in total, I had 3 finals I was studying for. 2 physics finals, one for thermodynamics and optics, and one for electricity and magnetism. And then the third was for my astronomy course, but there's like very little that I show of it because astronomy was so easy this semester. Of course, there's a little bit of studying. You'll see it sprinkled throughout, but for the most part, it is my 2 physics finals that I am working on throughout this video. And what we start with here is electricity and magnetism, because that is the one I understood the least, and I wanted to give myself the most time to really study and focus on and try and understand it at a fundamental level. And that's what you will see for pretty much the entire beginning of this video. And to approach these topics, I decided to use the GOAT, the organic chemistry tutor, to review everything. He, frankly, explains every topic so much better than any professor I've had. I'm sure you guys are aware, if you're in STEM at all or have to take any slightly upper level STEM course, you know how well organic chemistry tutor explains everything. So I decided to watch his playlists for both thermodynamics and for electricity and magnetism in order to review for my finals. All I'm doing is taking notes and doing some practice problems towards the end just to make sure I know what's happening. In the meantime, though, I did have a final lab report to write for my thermodynamics class, and in order to not let that get in the way of my studying still, I banged that out right after my lab ended and wrote the entire thing in a coffee shop right off campus. So just had to add that in here because it happened during that week, but that's over, that's done. We don't have to talk about it anymore. For this entire time, I'm working on electricity and magnetism. I should tell you now, though, that this final and the astronomy final are on Monday the 12th. My thermodynamics final, on the other hand, is on the 9th, so the Friday before, which means I have 2 less days to work on thermodynamics. I don't know why it didn't click in my head that I needed to study for that first. It will click eventually, but at the moment, no. During this week, I also ended up finishing a book for recreation, a fun book. It was Absolution by Jeff Vandermeer. It was the 4th book in the Area X trilogy, the Southern Reach trilogy, fairly new, and I was very excited to read it. It was pretty fun. I had to journal about it. That's pretty much all I filmed for this day, but this is another piece of evidence. You'll see later too, but I just took so many breaks during finals week to just do fun stuff when I probably shouldn't have. On the less fun side, though, I did have to run some errands and had to clean my apartment, which had become so dirty with how busy I'd been. So we took another break there, but I feel like that one was a little more necessary than finishing a book on a whim. But straight into another unnecessary break, I tried to do some studying, as you can see in this time lapse, which ultimately fell apart when I got sucked into Pinterest and decided that I wanted to draw the 3 main characters from Project What in cool outfits. I don't know what happened, but I could not say no, and I ended up drawing for the rest of the night. If you want to see the full pieces, head to my art Instagram. The link is in the description. Yeah, there's another case of just like taking a break when I should not have. But at last, I finally realized that I needed to switch from electricity and magnetism to thermodynamics, because at this point, my thermodynamics final was in 2 days, and I had not touched any review, so it was time to cook. But anyways, this was definitely a lesson in time management for sure. This time around, I definitely gave myself enough time like on the calendar to get everything done, because usually for studying, I wouldn't even start a week before the exams. I would have started like 3-4 days before the exams. So being 10-12 days out was a good idea. That was something I had improved on. But the fact that I was still taking breaks in between, and huge breaks at that, because breaks are necessary, but I was taking like 4-5 hour breaks to just do whatever I wanted. Probably not the best idea, and definitely a lesson learned in not taking ginormous breaks to start drawing your characters out of nowhere. Anyways, now it is the 8th. I have 1 day until my thermo final, and I am so far away from being done with review, so it is crunch time. I cleared off my kitchen table and used it all day for note-taking and practice problem doing and reading, and I didn't even end up filming on the 9th, the day of my final, because of how short I cut everything. I just had to get out, make my cheat sheet for the exam, do some last-minute studying, and go to the lecture hall to take my exam. Like, there was no time to bring out the camera. I'm sorry. But I did do pretty well on that one, so we're good. that is over. It is time to study again for the last 2 finals. Throughout the video, I have done a little bit of studying for astronomy, but now it was time to buckle down and really focus on these last 2. So stressful, especially because of how I had separated my time. I had to cut a lot of the work I wanted to do out because there simply was not enough time before the exams to do all of it, which was frustrating and a little sad because I was like, I'm definitely not going to be as prepared as I could be if I had just like a little bit more time. I did not give that to myself, so we're going to have to work with what we have. The night before my last 2 finals, I stayed up so late doing practice problems and taking last-minute notes. It was terrible, but I went to my astronomy final first, crushed it. We had 2 hours to do the final. I did it in 30 minutes, and thankfully, it gave me enough time to finish my cheat sheets for electricity and magnetism, because I did not even have time to do those the night before. I had to go find a place to sit and finish those, because without those, I would have been absolutely cooked. And frankly, even with them, I was very cooked. Even just walking out of the lecture hall after the exam, I was like, that was not good. But I was free. I was done with the spring semester. We're done. But anyways, that is it from me. Tiny little finals vlog. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Let me know how everything's going with you. Are you guys out of school yet? Are you guys almost there? Are you in the finals week swamp? Let me know. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.